Cowboys game preview. Cowboys game
preview.
Giants.
Cowboys, Giants, NFC BEASTs.
Yeah, well, one is. And this is, again, guys, what am I seeing about our records here? What am I seeing about our record?
Oh, I mean, we're back to our...
it's a pattern. It's a pattern. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. So now we're expected to win and then lose to the Panthers, according to our pattern of wins and losses.
Well, it is a.
First off, it was Alex's pattern that he came up with, so don't adopt it in that.
No,
but this loss proves that the pattern is alive. We're gonna get into the betting, but this is one of the biggest spreads I've ever seen. Minus 16.5.
Which also makes you just kind of...
Makes you nervous.
Well, we don't need to linger on scoring leaders because the only one that's still, oddly enough, like Waller, how many games has he been out? He's the receiving leader still.
That's wild.
And then D. Jones obviously tore his ACL.
Hate to see it.
But look, by the season that he was having, I mean, it might be a good thing for him to just take a little break there. But it's just Barkley. That's all we really have to worry about.
Very similar numbers to TP20. Barkley and TP20 are looking very similar with their stats. 126 carries, 500 yards, 1 touchdown for Barkley, and 120 carries, 474 yards, 2 tugs for Pollard. Very, very, very similar.
When you talk about like how crazy are the things when you look at like the fantasy, so not fantasy football scores, but if you look at like the top 10 scores, how crazy is that to see Saquon Barkley with only 1 touchdown and 400 yards at week 10?
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Like, that's absolutely insane.
And it goes to the point of running backs maybe aren't as value as they are, or maybe their value is going the right way that it's supposed to. Right?
Hey, I think, I don't know that a running back's going to carry a team anymore like we saw AP and Tomlinson do in most recent years. There are still going to be great elite running backs, but we've seen it all too often. You can get by with guys who come in, play hard, know the scheme, and just fit the scheme correctly, right? But we are now in first place in special teams.
Deserved. Aubrey broke the record for best. What did he start off a career? 19 completed field goals in a row, which is an NFL record for a kicker to start his career. Congrats for a guy that just started kicking a football 3 years ago.
Laces out.
It's pretty dang good, and I like to have him on the team. And then you got Turpin, who's been coming alive and having some big returns every game. So our special teams looks legit.
But even with these comparisons, I mean, it's just, we don't even really need to go deep in it. The New York Giants are pretty much 32nd ranked in 3 of the 5 or the 6 things that we have here, and they are definitely bottom of the barrel in all of them. So unfortunate.
Get the screech bottle out.
It's probably going to happen a couple times. The only thing, the big takeaway that I have from here,
we don't work the next day, so that's my big takeaway.
Good call.
That's my big takeaway.
Good call.
Is the second biggest takeaway then is our EPA, which is earned points average per pass, is 0.16. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you look over at the New York Giants at minus 0.22, I mean, and then you look at the Cowboys' earned points per average per run, which is minus 0.13, which, you know, I don't think anyone's surprised about. It's nice to see the passing game is the one that's leading in terms of producing points for the offense.
It's crazy to think that last year Dabble was the NFL Coach of the Year. They were a postseason team. They looked pretty damn good. They looked like they were on the rise, and they've just completely crumbled. And by week 10, like, their season's done. Their quarterbacks are out. I follow a couple pages on Instagram on Giants fans, and it's just pretty grim. And I do feel bad for fans in that kind of aspect of it, because you're so excited for the season, and then you get here and it's just like, well, this is it was kind of like the Cowboys in 2020 with the Dak injury. It's just gone, and it's just like, fuck me, get me through. Yeah. And then the next thing you're waiting for is the draft.
Yeah, just think about it. If it wasn't a divisional rivalry team, I'd have a little bit more compassion.
Oh, put them in the ground this weekend. Put them fucking down. Like, let's be that bullet that puts them out.
We do not want to falter to
No,
it.
smash him.
And then
Kill him.
have it on our
40-0 in the first.
Yes.
Sorry, I was getting so excited I kept cutting you off.
That's okay. Cut me off.
Yeah, no, the injuries here, I don't think that there is any surprises with the Giants. We already know that half their team is out. And then the other guys are they're dehydrated in terms of colors on our PFF colors. And if you're listening to this, you're like, what the hell are these guys talking about? You got to come watch the show every Wednesday and every Dallas Cowboys live stream right here on YouTube.
Right here on the YouTube.
But what we're talking about is the PFF has a color grade, and it goes from like dark blue all the way down to
Go see your doctor.
Go see your doctor
see
red. And we talk about it on a piss scale as you start to get into the.
Although if you're pissing blue, you should probably see your doctor.
But the piss scale starts happening around the 60s and 50s, where we start to. Otherwise, it's like, oh, you're sky blue, you're sky.
Yeah, exactly. I
You're
feel
vape
like
10.
I feel like blue is equivalent to just clear.
Clear. Okay.
And then green,
Yeah.
green is like you had maybe a St. Patty's Day beer and you're feeling great.
Is 100 that crack
if you
with?
got
Oh,
'em.
I gotta get on that. Crack with.
Crack 'em if you.
So is 100 rating purple? You think it gets so blue that it turns purple?
It
would have to be.
Well, is there any player who is rated 100 on PFF?
No,
Has
like
there ever been a player rated 100?
low 90s is
I'm sure there
kind
were,
of like your best.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there might have been some game. You know, that we were talking about it earlier, but that LaDainian Tomlinson season.
Probably.
You should go
90,
back and
97.
You should go back and look at that. And
I don't think PFF was around then, but maybe they went back and did it. Like PFF's probably been around for the last 10 years ish, is my guess.
But for the Cowboys here, we got Double O with a leg injury, and he's been playing lights fucking out. Then we got T. Smith with another. He's questionable.
So there was some news on Smith. They were saying they're going to let him. They're not going to practice him during the week, and then play him on the weekend.
He didn't practice. He didn't practice last week, and he had a solid game.
So that's just a little tidbit with him. You won't see him practice this week, but he's more than likely going to play on Sunday.
The only concern there is like, okay, the big man's breaking down now. So
He's broken.
Yeah,
he's one snap away, and you just gotta be like, just make it a little bit longer.
you do, and then the Cowboys are really set on Tyler Smith playing guard, and I think we're pretty happy about that too.
Played
so
unreal.
So
That jersey right there.
yeah, that's the only thing that comes up with this is like, okay. I don't want to look forward. We're talking about week 10, but we might have to find a replacement.
Yeah.
Hey, quarterbacks, Tommy DeVito. Now
This guy worked. This guy was on the Jersey Shore.
and you know, I
I
know,
thought he worked at Subway before this.
I know how we analyze things,
Yeah.
and I have all these great numbers here that we can look at. I didn't come up with them. PFF did. I copy and pasted them. But what really matters to us is the face of the man who we're going to be playing. And so
Great teeth.
I had
I
to
like
go
that you got the teeth out.
get
there.
a screenshot, bring in Tommy DeVito's
Hey, I'm
face.
Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito.
You know what? I don't mind his look. He does not look like a football player to me.
He looks like he played Josh Allen in a Christmas movie.
He looks like a dude who
Hallmark movie.
Hallmark. That's what I was thinking. I couldn't think of the word.
Not even like a repeat.
I
He's
was
like
thinking Hallmark. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I just couldn't think of the word.
Yeah.
He-
Or he's on that fucking like river show, Riverside or whatever the fuck it's called on
Archie?
Netflix.
Archie,
yeah, the
yeah.
Archie, yeah, whatever it is.
To me, he looks like a friend of a friend who I get introduced to at a party, and then he starts talking about crypto to me.
He looks like a guy that I wouldn't have my drink opened around.
No,
Oh, okay. Now, question, because Forever DC in the chat saying he looks like Danny. Is he Danny DeVito's kid? Like, is that?
Do you imagine?
I don't know. Like, we got a
Danny DeVito and his wife are combined 6 feet tall. I don't think they having a 6'2" son.
Yeah, one's 3'2" and the other's 210.
Chat, let us know if that's actually true. I don't think it
Who
is.
said it? Who said?
The penguin.
I'm not even going to.
The penguin himself.
From he would be more our age. He wouldn't be 25 if he was Danny DeVito's
Yeah,
kid.
well, unless the penguin's spreading that.
I mean,
penguin
actually,
seed.
Danny DeVito, maybe he's spreading that strong seed, as they say.
Not the worst looking guy I've ever seen though. This Tommy DeVito.
Did he play last game with them, or is this his first
He
game?
played. I don't know. I don't know if he
played
played
last game. Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Okay, so he did have a couple snaps last game. He ended up with a tutty at like 100 and 20 or 50 yards, a touchdown, and 2 ints.
Yeah.
So not looking good. And I do wish the best for you, Tommy DeVito. But
he's about to be in the lion's den.
you're gonna feel what it's like to be. You're gonna be like the stupid little kid who falls off the zoo bars into the lion's den and wakes up like, hello.
Why is Micah Parsons here? I'll say this. I want the Cowboys players, the defense, to be like, this is where we make our money. Let's get our I want them to think this is a stat game. I want them to go out there and want to pad their stats. If you go in there thinking that you're just going to smash this team and you lose, you got to go in there wanting to beat them so bad. To like Micah Parsons, I want him to go in there and get 6 sacks.
Make up for the other games.
Pad the stats.
Parsons, realistically, 3 sacks is what I'm expecting.
Yeah. 3 stats. We want 3 stats
I want
out of
3
him.
stats. Go.
TFL.
Sacks. Interception.
Force fumble.
Tyler Smith versus Dexter Lawrence, and I, assuming from what I see on PFF's lineup, that Dexter Lawrence is going to be coming at Tyler Smith and Tyler Biadasz. 2 T's, 2 of our T's.
T squared.
But I think that this matchup is something that I'm gonna be watching. Number one, because Dexter Lawrence is pretty much the only highly graded defensive player, so he's going to be coming and he's going to give problems. And Tyler Smith has been playing so good at guard that this is like a really good matchup. I know Smith is in his 2nd year. He's matured really well. Obviously, has taken to that guard position. So it'll be interesting to see how he does against one of the more elite players in the NFL at the position.
Yeah, 92.3.
Yeah.
The run block grade and the run defense grade are very close for both of them. So that's
right. Yeah.
On the run game.
Yeah, you might not see Dexter. You might not see Dexter Lawrence as much. Well, even pass rush. Like, man, this guy's a beast. Yeah. He looks like me in my Oompa Loompa outfit, all nipples.
And I mean, and that's where they'll probably that's where you're probably going to see Dexter Lawrence come at Tyler Smith as the pass block.
Me and Dexter Lawrence have the exact same body.
Oh, here, let me get a close up there for you.
These hoes ain't loyal.
Except he's probably 6'3", 6'4", and.
So are you looking for that, or did I miss the mark with?
No,
this
that's
one?
great. That's great. Again, it's going to be hard to watch any specific matchup because I'm expecting us to hammer down on these.
The unfortunate thing for Giants fans and for us in this game and for this podcast section right now, the show section, I should say, is anyone who we would compare to are on IR.
Yeah.
Waller, he's out. That would have been a great comparison with Marquise Bell. See how those guys line up.
Yep.
And then the other one, of course, would have just been Daniel Jones. Danny. Yeah.
Danny Dimes, and now he's Danny Achilles. But yeah, there's not very many matchups, but this is a good one. Tyler Smith versus Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence has been pretty much that gold covered shit for the Giants.
Yep. And the next one here is just Saquon Barkley versus our defense. And I took this moment, if I could, let's just look at Saquon Barkley's stats here for a second. Very pedestrian, very middle of the road. Not scared about what he's going to do on the ground. He's not really being the Saquon Barkley of old. Okay, he still got the name. So, I still got the respect, and I'd pay hefty for a shoe of his.
Yep.
But, I don't find him to be super threatening.
You can't. He's a running back's not going to win you a game by himself.
No,
It's
especially
Not in today's NFL.
It's impossible.
And especially when the other options are gone, and you're like, your only X factor, if we're talking Madden, okay, your only X factor player is your running back. So it's like, okay,
Cowboys are loading the box against Barkley.
Load the box and let this rookie throw to.
You're going to see a lot of blitzing
practice.
You're going to see a lot of blitzing in this game. You're going to see anytime they expect the Giants to run, they're going to bring 5. They're going to go a lot of man-on-man coverage. They're going to let Stephon Gilmore and Deron Bland and even Jordan Lewis man up against guys and say, okay, if you want to beat us, show us that you can throw in the NFL.